Welcome to Obsession Code. Today we're talking about why nice guys lose and don't even realize it. Most men believe attraction works like a reward system. If you behave well, if you're patient, if you're supportive and understanding, then eventually you'll be chosen. And when that doesn't happen, the confusion is intense. You did what you were told. You didn't pressure her. You didn't push. You didn't act selfish. So why does she lose interest? Why does she pull away? Why does it feel like the more effort you put in, the less attraction you receive? The answer isn't that you're broken, and it's not that women are complicated. It's that you were taught a framework that guarantees failure. From a young age, men are taught that attraction is earned. Be useful, be reliable, be emotionally available. You're told that love is something you qualify for through behavior. And if you fail, the conclusion is always the same. You didn't try hard enough, so you try more. You give more time, more patience, more understanding. And somehow, the results keep getting worse. The biggest lie men are taught is this: being nice equals being attractive. But niceness, when it's driven by fear, is not a virtue. It's self-erasure. Avoiding conflict isn't emotional intelligence. Suppressing your needs isn't maturity. Over-accommodating isn't generosity. It's insecurity. And insecurity, no matter how politely packaged, is repulsive to attraction. Women don't reject kindness. They reject inauthentic kindness. Kindness that's rooted in the fear of losing approval. Women don't respond to effort. They respond to emotional grounding. They don't feel attraction because you're consistent. They feel attraction because you're stable. And stability doesn't mean predictability. It means self-trust. When a man trusts himself, his presence changes. He doesn't rush. He doesn't over-explain. He doesn't negotiate his worth. And that calm certainty is what creates attraction. Here's what happens psychologically. When you're nice because you want to be liked, your attention is split. Half of you is present. The other half is watching her reaction. You're checking. Did that land? Was that too much? Should I pull back? Should I give more? This creates micro-tension. And women feel it immediately. They feel like something is being asked of them. Not verbally, emotionally. And attraction cannot grow where there's pressure. Nice guys don't interact. They audition. They're constantly adjusting their behavior based on feedback. If she pulls back, they lean in. If she goes quiet, they try to fix it. If she hesitates, they reassure. This creates a dynamic where she becomes the emotional authority. She's choosing, you're waiting. And attraction collapses in that imbalance. This is why advice like, be confident, fails men. Confidence isn't something you do. It's something you stop doing. You stop seeking permission. You stop managing reactions. You stop trying to control outcomes. Two men can say the same sentence. One feels relaxed, the other feels loaded. Women don't hear the words. They feel the intent. This distinction changes everything. Nice men prioritize harmony. Respectful men prioritize truth. Nice men say yes to avoid tension. Respectful men say no without hostility. Nice men hide resentment. Respectful men express boundaries early. Nice men sacrifice themselves quietly. Respectful men don't abandon themselves at all. Women don't want men who disappear to keep the peace. They want men who can hold tension without collapsing. At some point, the dynamic flips. The woman begins to feel responsible for the man's emotional state. She senses that. If she pulls away, he'll feel hurt. If she sets boundaries, he'll feel rejected. If she doesn't reciprocate, he'll feel insecure, and desire dies instantly. Attraction requires freedom. Responsibility kills freedom. Most nice guys operate under an unspoken contract. If I do everything right, you owe me attraction. But attraction is not a transaction. And the moment a woman feels like she's being paid for with effort, she disengages. Not because she's cruel, but because desire cannot be negotiated. This is the part men struggle with. They think, but I'm doing the right thing. And they are, morally. But attraction isn't moral. It's emotional. Being a good person doesn't guarantee desire. Being a grounded person does. Everything changes when you stop using niceness as a tool. When you're kind because it's aligned, not because you're afraid. When you give because you choose, not because you hope. When you speak because it's true, not because it's safe. You stop asking, how do I keep her interested? And start asking, am I betraying myself here? That's where confidence is born. Confidence isn't dominance. It isn't coldness. It isn't pretending not to care. Confidence is emotional independence. It's knowing that rejection doesn't define you. It's being willing to lose someone rather than lose yourself. That's what women feel. Not arrogance, not control. Freedom when you stop chasing approval. Your reactions slow. Your words carry weight. Your presence relaxes. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You're allowing choice. And paradoxically, that's when attraction appears. Not because you became better, but because you became real. Nice guys don't lose because they're kind. They lose because they abandon themselves. They trade authenticity for safety. They trade desire for approval. And attraction cannot grow where a man is disconnected from himself. You don't need to be colder. You don't need to be tougher. You don't need to become someone else. You need to stop hiding behind niceness. Because strength isn't loud. It isn't aggressive. It's quiet self-respect. If this opened your eyes, support the channel with a like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson in the Obsession Code.